A student's overview of the Ageless wisdom was carefully compiled from the following books by Alice A. Bailey. A Treatise on Cosmic Fire. Esoteric Psychology, Volumes 1 and 2. Esoteric Healing. Esoteric Astrology. The Rays and the Initiations. Students are encouraged to download the free PDF version of this overview by following the link in the video's description, or to order a printed copy at cost from thebookpatch.com, but are advised to read the original, unabridged books in order to gain deeper insight into the ageless wisdom. Students are also invited to join our online study group at facebook.com/groups/students of the ageless wisdom. Chapter 31, Esoteric Psychology Volume 1. Cosmic Laws. The Functioning Ray Laws. There are certain great laws, connected with the 7 rays, that are effective in determining the lines of demarcation, the cleavages which produce separation and the differentiations of the manifested life of God into 1. The septenary constitution of the solar system. 2. The 10 schemes which indicate solar achievement. 3. The inner constitution, or so-called chains, which distinguish each planetary existence. 4. The planetary constitution of our Earth into the various kingdoms of nature. 5. The basic distinctions between the kingdoms, these produce the types, groupings, families, branches, empires and nations. These laws of cleavage are too difficult for general comprehension. They govern form life, and are the result of the united working, or rather the simultaneous manifestation, of the 3 laws dealt with in a treatise on cosmic fire. These are 1. The law of synthesis, determining the future, certifying the goal, concerned with the life or spirit aspect. 2. The law of attraction, determining the present, and governing the immediate condition of the planetary types. It is concerned with the consciousness or the soul aspect. 3. The law of economy. This law determines the past, conditions the planetary consciousness, and concerns itself with the form or matter aspect. When these 3 function together, during this particular cycle and in our particular race, they produce a fusion of forces which imposes a certain rhythm, a definite materialization of energies, and a specific type of civilization which functions under what we, esoterically, call the laws of cleavage. It is the mind which separates and divides, it is mental activity, divine and superhuman, as well as human, which produces the many differentiations. This process of divisioning comes to its climax during this world period in the Aryan race, the 5th race. We are today governed by the law of cleavages, a divine law and one of fruitful objective. This must not be forgotten. The activity of the 3 divine aspects, in relation to the human family in the first nebulous race, of which science knows nothing, produced what we call the law of immersion. It caused that growing diversification of matter, clothing the life, which ultimately produced the early manifestation of the incarnating sons of God. It is not a physical incarnation in the sense that we understand that term. The 4th law controlling human destiny is known by the curious name of the law of the tides. It concerns the life of desire and of sensory perception and of feeling. It is closely concerned with the development of awareness, and is an aspect of the law of cycles which controls solar evolution. It is a basic human law, protective and developing. It controls the cyclic or tidal life of all souls who are carried by the great river of life, on the crest of desire, into incarnation, and is one of the laws with which the aspirant must work, early in his training. Until he can function as a soul, independent of the cyclic turmoil of terrestrial life, and free from the control of the tides of his emotional existence, he cannot take initiation. It was the inability to do this which brought on earth the great Atlantean floods which brought that ancient civilization to an end. We come now to a consideration of the law of cleavages, for our race is controlled by the great heresy of separativeness. Through these cleavages, symbolically speaking, the fires of destruction may emerge and end our civilization, as the Atlantean civilization was ended, unless the conscious sons of God can build those bridges and develop that understanding which will offset this law, thus bringing into functioning activity the law which governs the coming race. The work that the disciples of the world must seek to do is analogous to that which they as individuals have to do in their own private development: build the antakarana, which will bridge the gap between the human consciousness and the spiritual, and make the race eventually as intuitional as it is, today, intellectual. End of page 155. The law of the coming race is most difficult to express in understandable terms. I can find no better name for it, so as to express adequately its functional effect, than the words, the law of loving understanding. 1. The law of immersion first race. 2. The law of capitulation second race. 3. The law of materialization Lemurian race. The law of hidden radiance. 4. The law of the tides Atlantean race. 5. The law of cleavages Aryan race. 6. The law of loving understanding the next race. The functioning of the law of loving understanding will be much facilitated during the Aquarian Age, and it will eventuate later in the development of the international spirit, in the recognition of one world faith in God and in humanity as the major expression of divinity in this world period, and in the transfer of the human consciousness from the world of material things to that of the more purely psychic, leading in time to the spiritual. It should be remembered that, for advanced humanity, time sequence of the recognition of these expansions of consciousness is as follows. 1. The world of psychical living. This requires the recognition, by the brain consciousness of the aspirant, of the need for mental and spiritual control as a first step. 2. The world of mental unfoldment and control. 3. The world of the soul or ego. When these three recognitions are stabilized in the aspirant, there comes the recognition by the disciple of 1. The control of the physical plane life by the soul. 2. The interpretative faculty of the illumined mind. 3. The functioning and utilization of the psychic powers, and their place in the field of intelligent service. 4. An inspired creative life on the physical plane. By a right understanding of these laws we can gain an insight into the present world situation as far as the nations are concerned, and can grasp more intelligently the ray influence which, in conjunction with these laws, has brought about the various typical national units. The nations and the rays. In connection, therefore, with our discussion of the rays which govern and influence the leading nations of the world, the student should bear in mind the fact that all are today governed primarily by the law of cleavages, but that advanced groups in each nation are beginning to respond to the law of understanding, a law which will eventually emphasize the eternal brotherhood of man and the identity of all souls with the Oversoul, in the racial consciousness, as well as the oneness of the life, which pours through, permeates, animates and integrates the entire solar system. This life functions therefore in and through all the planetary schemes, with their kingdoms of forms, and with all that can be included, throughout our solar universe, under the phrase form life. That phrase itself contains three great and basic ideas, the ideas of life, of matter and of evolution. Every ray produces three major patterns which are imposed upon the matter aspect, whether it be that of a man, a nation or a planet. These three patterns are: A. The emotional pattern. This embodies the aspiration of the man, the nation or the planetary life, and is the sum total of the desire tendency. B. The mental pattern. This emerges later in time and governs the thought processes of the man, the nation and the planet. It eventually becomes the controlling factor of the personality or form life. The emotional and mental patterns are the negative and positive aspect of the personality ray. C. The soul pattern. This is the predisposing goal, the ring pass not or destiny which the immortal principle, the solar angel, succeeds eventually and much later in time in imposing upon the form life. This soul pattern finally supersedes and obliterates the two earlier pattern-producing processes. End of page 156. The ray of the ego. In starting our study of the ray of the ego or soul, certain major premises might be briefly stated and incorporated into a series of propositions. They are as follows. 1. The egos of all human beings are to be found upon one or another of the 7 rays. 2. All egos found upon the 4th, the 5th, the 6th and the 7th rays must eventually, after the 3rd initiation, blend with the 3 major rays, or monadic rays. 3. The monadic ray of every ego is one of the 3 rays of aspect, and the sons of men are either monads of power, monads of love, or monads of intelligence. 4. For our specific purposes, we shall confine our attention to the 7 groups of souls found upon one or other of the 7 rays or streams of divine energy. 5. For the major part of our racial and life experience we are governed sequentially, and later simultaneously by A. The physical body, which is dominated by the ray governing the sum total of the atoms of that body. B. The emotional desire nature, which is to be found influenced and controlled by the ray which colors the totality of astral atoms. C. The mind-body or mental nature, and the caliber and quality of the ray determining its atomic value. D. Later, on the physical plane, the soul ray begins to work in and with the sum total of the 3 bodies, which constitute, when aligned and functioning in unison, the personality. The effect of that general integration is actively to produce an incarnation and incarnations wherein the personality ray emerges clearly, and the 3 bodies or selves constitute the 3 aspects or rays of the lower personal self. E. When the personality ray becomes pronounced and dominant, and the three body rays are subordinated to it, then the great fight takes place between the egoic ray or soul and the personality ray. The differentiation becomes clearly marked, and the sense of duality becomes more definitely established. 6. Eventually, the soul ray or influence becomes the dominating factor, and the rays of the lower bodies become the sub-rays of this controlling ray. This last sentence is of basic importance, for it indicates the true relation of the personality to the ego or soul. The disciple who understands this relation and conforms to it is ready to tread the path of initiation. 7. Each of the 7 groups of souls is responsive to one of the 7 types of force, and all of them are responsive to the ray of the planetary logos of our planet, which is the third ray of active intelligence. All are therefore upon a sub-ray of this ray, but it must never be forgotten that the planetary logos is also upon a ray, which is a sub-ray of the second ray of love wisdom. End of page 157. The ray of the planetary logos. It should be remembered that our planetary logos functioning through the planet Earth is not considered as producing one of the 7 sacred planets. The work of each individual aspirant is therefore to arrive at an understanding of a. His egoic ray, b. His personality ray, c. The ray governing his mind, d. That governing his astral body, e. The ray influencing his physical body. When he has achieved this 5-fold knowledge, he has fulfilled the Delphic injunction, know thyself, and can consequently take initiation. Every human being is also governed by certain group rays. 1. Those of the 4th kingdom in nature. This will have different effects, according to the ray of the personality or soul. The 4th kingdom has a. The 4th ray as its egoic ray, b. The 5th ray as its personality ray. 2. The racial rays, at this time, are the 3rd and 5th, for our Aryan race, and this powerfully affects every human being. 3. The cyclic ray. 4. The national ray. All of these control the personality life of each man. The egoic ray of the individual, plus the egoic ray of the 4th kingdom, gradually negate the rays governing the personality as the man nears the path of probation and discipleship. Man therefore is an aggregate of forces which dominate him serially, and together, these color his nature, produce his quality, and determine his appearance, using this word in its occult sense of exteriorization. For ages he is wielded by one or other of these forces, and is simply what they make him. As he arrives at a clearer understanding, and can begin to discriminate, he definitely chooses which of them shall dominate, until he eventually becomes controlled by the soul ray, with all the other rays subordinated to that ray and used by him at will. The personality ray finds its major field of activity and expression in the physical body. It determines its life trend and purpose, its appearance and occupation. It is selective of quality, when influenced by the egoic ray. The egoic ray has direct and specific action upon the astral body. Hence the battlefield of the life is ever on the plane of illusions. As the soul seeks to dispel the ancient glamour, the aspirant is enabled to walk in the light. The monadic ray influences the mental body, after integration of the personality has been brought about. It causes the mind nature to achieve that clear vision which finds its consummation at the fourth initiation, and releases the man from the limitations of form. There is an analogy to this triplicity and an interesting symbolic relation in the three initiators. A. The first initiator, the soul of man. This controls gradually the personality. B. The second initiator, the Christ. Releasing the love nature. C. The final initiator, the planetary logos. Illumining the mind. End of page 158. The egoic or soul ray begins to make its presence actively felt, via the astral body, as soon as alignment has been achieved. The process is as follows. A. It plays on the astral body externally. B. It stimulates it internally to greater size, color and quality. C. It brings it and all parts of the physical life into activity and under control. All the above propositions could be summed up in the statement that the personality ray induces a separative attitude and causes a detachment from the group of souls of which the personality is an externalization, and a constituent attachment to the form side of manifestation. The egoic ray induces group consciousness and detachment from external forms, causing attachment to the life side of manifestation and to the subjective whole. The monadic ray has an effect which can be understood only after man has taken the third initiation. The rays in manifestation. Ray I not in manifestation. Asterisk ray 2 in manifestation since 1575 AD. Asterisk ray 3 in manifestation since 1425 AD. Ray 4 to come slowly into manifestation around 2025 AD. Asterisk ray V in manifestation since 1775 AD. Ray 6 passing rapidly out of manifestation. Began to pass out in 1625 AD. Asterisk ray 7 in manifestation since 1675 AD. Ray methods of teaching truth. Ray I higher expression, the science of statesmanship, and of government. Lower expression, modern diplomacy and politics. Ray 2 higher expression, the process of initiation as taught by the hierarchy of masters. Lower expression, religion. Ray 3 higher expression, means of communication or interaction. Radio, telegraph. Telephone and means of transportation. Lower expression, the use and spread of money and gold. Ray 4 higher expression, the Masonic work, based on the formation of the hierarchy and related to Ray 2. Lower expression, architectural construction. Modern city planning. Ray V higher expression, the science of the soul. Esoteric psychology. Lower expression, modern educational systems. Ray 6 higher expression, Christianity and diversified religions. Note relation to Ray 2. Lower expression, churches and religious organizations. Ray 7 higher expression, all forms of white magic. Lower expression, spiritualism in its lower aspects. End of page 159. The rays and discipleship. First ray force energy action the occultist. Second ray consciousness expansion initiation the troop psychic. Third ray adaptation development evolution the magician. Fourth ray vibration response expression the artist. Fifth ray mentation knowledge science the scientist. Sixth ray devotion abstraction idealism the devotee. Seventh ray incantation magic ritual the ritualist. The numerical influence of the rays. The mineral kingdom rays 7 and 1. The vegetable kingdom rays 2, 4 and 6. The animal kingdom rays 3 and 6. The human kingdom rays 4 and 5. The soul kingdom rays 5 and 2. The planetary kingdom rays 6 and 3. The solar kingdom rays 1 and 7. The expressions of ray influence. The mineral kingdom ray 7 radiation. Ray 1 power. The vegetable kingdom ray 2 magnetism. Ray 4 harmony of color. Ray 6 growth towards light. The animal kingdom ray 3 instinct. Ray 6 domesticity. The human kingdom ray 4 experience. Ray 5 intellect. The kingdom of souls ray 5 personality. Ray 2 intuition. The planetary kingdom ray 6 the plan. Ray 3 creative work. The solar kingdom ray 1 universal mind, will. Ray 7 synthetic ritual. Microcosmic correspondences. I. Mineral gonads sacral center and base of spine. Vegetable heart, lungs heart, throat. Animal stomach, liver solar plexus. Human brain, vocal organs the 2 head centers. 2. Mineral base of spine adrenals. Vegetable heart center thymus. Animal solar plexus pancreas. Human sacral center gonads. Egoic throat center thyroid. Planetary ajna center pituitary. Solar head center pineal. End of page 160. 3. Process secret purpose. Mineral condensation transmutation radiation. Vegetable conformation transformation magnetization. Animal concretization transfusion experimentation. Human adaptation translation transfiguration. Egoic externalization manifestation realization. End of chapter 31.